Hi guys and welcome back to another video on Openshift. In this one, we are going to do multi-tier application deployment on an Openshift cluster, and we are going to see the different methods that are available for us to do this. We can write our general YAMLs and deploy our applications via those, or you can also use the OC commands to do the same thing. We will take a look at how we can deploy an application using both the methods. The application that we are going to deploy today is called as Nextcloud, and this is a alternative to using Google Drive, Gmail, and other solutions. So if you want an on-premise Google Drive, or if you want an on-premise file sharing solution that you can access from your mobile or from your laptop or desktop, then you can use Nextcloud. It's quite famous and a lot of companies use it. We are going to see how can we deploy this using OpenShift. So let's understand the different components. Nextcloud has two components. We have a backend, which is Postgres that contains your data. And then we have the front end, which is Nextcloud. Both of them require some information, such as what's going to be the Postgres username, Postgres password, name of the Postgres application, and what's going to be the DB name. So for that, we have a secret to provide our Postgres information. This secret is going to be provided to both the Nextcloud as well as to Postgres. After that, we are going to use the OC new app command. Traditionally, what you would do is you would write different YAMLs, a different YAML for the deployment, a different YAML for the service. However, the OC new app command will create a deployment as well as create a service for it automatically. So we are going to use that to deploy Nextcloud and to deploy Postgres. Then Postgres will require having access to the super user to run its initialization, and Nextcloud will require port number 80 to work on. OpenShift by default has SCC, security context constraints, which does not allow that. So we will create a service account and provide this service account with higher privileges of any UID. That means allow the applications to run as a super user, and then the applications will be successfully able to run. Finally, when my customer wants to connect to my application, my customer cannot connect to a cluster IP, or my customer cannot connect to an IP essentially. So I want a DNS record. For that, a route can be created. The customer will go to the route. The route will connect him to the Nextcloud service, which is hosting the front end of the Nextcloud. And the front end service will be able to communicate with the back end service to provide the data and to get the data. This is what we want to do, and this will crystal clear our ways of understanding OpenShift deployment. So let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a new project, OC new project, and let's call it Nextcloud hyphen app, or whatever we want to call it. Now the first thing that we are going to do is we want to create a secret, and this secret is going to contain information that both my applications are going to use. For that, we have the OC create secret command available. We are creating a generic secret that will contain the information regarding the key and value pairs, such as the username, the DB name, etc., etc. So we'll create a generic secret. Give the secret a name. So we'll call it Nextcloud hyphen credentials. And here we'll use the from literal option to provide the key and value pairs. So from literal is equal to Postgres underscore host. So that's the name of your database or your database service in our case. So let's call it DB. Then the second key, so that's from literal again, Postgres underscore password. So the password to the DB, that's Nextcloud. Then from literal again, we'll call it Postgres underscore DB. So the database instance will contain a database known as Nextcloud as well. And from literal Postgres underscore user, a user on the DB. So that's going to be also Nextcloud. We've created a small secret, and this secret's name is Nextcloud-credentials. Both my applications are going to use this secret. This is done. The next thing I want to do is, as per the diagram, I also want to create a service account because my applications will require higher privileges. For that, a service account is going to be required in OpenShift. This doesn't happen in Kubernetes, but it does happen in OpenShift. So we will run the command OC create service account and call it nextcloud-sa as in nextcloud-service account. And then I will also require to provide it with the any UID privileges. For that, we'll run the command OC ADM policy add SCC to user. That is to provide a user with security context constraints. So which permission any UID hyphen Z that's to provide the service account name that's nextcloud-sa. So the permission is given. Now we'll deploy our applications using the OC new app command. So the first application that I'm going to deploy is going to be for Nextcloud. So we'll call it OC new app hyphen name, and let's give it a name of let's say Nextcloud. That's easy. Hyphen image, which container image to use. So that's Nextcloud colon Apache. That's the image and the image tag. Now this command will automatically create the deployment and the service. So I don't need to write the YAML for that. And use the same command. We'll modify this. So now we'll create the DB, and the image is going to be Postgres. And we are using the tag Alpine that's based on the Alpine operating system, and press enter. Now you have your deployments created. However, these deployments also need the data from the secret. So we'll run the command OC set env from secret name nextcloud-credentials. Let's verify whether that was a secret name or not. So we'll run the OC get secrets command. Yes, that's the correct name. And we'll provide the deployment name. So the deployment is known as Nextcloud, and the second deployment is known as DB. Then we'll run the command to tell OpenShift to allow the Nextcloud-sa service account to run these deployments. So OC get SA or service account gives you the name of the service account, and OC get deployments gives you the deployment name. So let's run OC set SA. We'll give the deployment name that's DB and a service account name that's Nextcloud-sa. And same thing will go with the Nextcloud deployment as well. OC get pods. We'll wait for a couple of seconds, and we can see that our pods are in the running state now. Finally, everything is configured, and OC get service will show you the service as well. However, in order for you to access this service via a route, which is the last part that we did here, we need to generate the route. And the route is going to be based on the DNS of your project or the DNS of your OpenShift cluster. So for example, we can use the command OC expose service name that's Nextcloud. We don't want to expose the DB service because I don't want my customer connecting to the database. I want my customer connecting to Nextcloud, and that DB Nextcloud communication will happen internally. So we won't expose the DB. And hyphen host name, that's going to be the name of a DNS record that the customer is going to use to access your application. So I'm going to paste my host name that my DNS is configured with. That's nextcloud.apps.ocp412, my cluster name, .networknuts, my domain, .lab, that's my top level domain, and press enter. OC get routes, and we can see a new route is created that will take you to this particular service. Let's copy this, go to our browser, HTTP, and paste this, press enter. and we can access the Nextcloud front end. It's asking us to create an admin account because we are doing this for the very first time. So let's provide the username Aryan and a strong password. Now we are going to wait for the installation to happen. So it's going to configure everything on the Postgres DB. And once that configuration is done, Nextcloud should automatically start. So it's asking us whether we want to install the recommended applications such as sync with our calendars, our contacts, email, Office, that's like Google Sheets and everything, notes and chats. So we can click on skip because we don't want to waste our time doing this. And here we have Nextcloud ready to be deployed and used. Now my employees, the people part of my organization can upload their files and share their files with each other. In an on-premise Google Drive like environment, they will not have to use Google Drive or anything that's internet hosted. Everything can happen internally. We can share things and we can share emails and chat. Everything on our on-prem network, we will not require anything internet related. So we often use Nextcloud when we want an on-prem file sharing and collaboration solution. Now, all of this that we did via the OC commands. Another option that's available is also what you do in Kubernetes, that you can write all the YAML for creating different things and simply apply those YAMLs and all the resources will automatically get created. However, you might still have to run certain commands, for example, let's say populating the secrets to the deployments, or to, for example, providing the service account with relevant permissions. So what we can do is we can run oc delete project and get the project name first. So oc delete project nextcloud-app. This will delete everything that we've created. And now what we'll do is we'll create a second project and see how we can do things the other fashion. So wait for this command to delete everything and then we'll run OC new project and give this a name Nextcloud, let's say app hyphen 2. And you can see OC get all shows you that there is nothing here, right? Everything is empty because it's a freshly created project. It doesn't contain anything. So what we can do is we can write all the YAMLs. I have it already written with me. We have all the YAMLs written already and we can just apply these YAMLs. I can simply run the command oc apply -f and the directory name which contains all the YAMLs. And it's going to create all the routes, the deployments, the services, the secrets, everything. However, some basic commands I would still have to run. OC get SA, for example, service account is created, but I will still have to run the command OC ADM policy, add SCC to user, any UID -z the service account name, Nextcloud -sa. Similarly, I will also have to run the commands OC set SA deployment name. Let me check that OC get deployments. So OC set SA deployment name is Nextcloud-deployment and service account name is Nextcloud-sa. And same thing for the Postgres deployment as well. OC get SA, that was the name. Yeah, that's correct. Next thing we want to do is also populate the secrets. So OC get secrets, OC get deployments, and then OC set env -from secret name, that's Nextcloud -credentials, and the deployment name, that's Nextcloud -deployment. And same goes for Postgres -deployment. So you can create things via the YAML or you can also use the OC command depending upon how things are done in your organization. Generally, what we see is that everything is written via the YAML and then we simply apply the YAML whenever we are required to do so. And OC get route just shows the route. So we can copy this and we'll open up the browser again and we'll paste it again. And you can see a fresh Nextcloud is there again deployed. A username with a relevant password, and click on install. And everything will happen all over again. So you can use both the methods for deploying applications depending upon how you see fit. And then we have other methods as well, such as using OpenShift templates or using OpenShift with Helm, which I will cover in the upcoming sessions. If you have your cluster already created, I would love it if you could deploy Nextcloud and test it out yourself. And I'll see you in the next one.